The offensive tackles.
Yeah.
I like your second round target from the Senior Bowl.
Kingsley Suamatea.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Kingsley is, and I thought Fran Duffy. Make sure you listen to that podcast. Fran did a good job with you kind of outlining him, like really good athleticism, young guy, former top recruit, transferred from Oregon. But I think this is from a developmental perspective, from like a size, athleticism perspective, a lot to like here.
Well, I think less of the specific players here, the game theory of it, like the order of operations. We know that they want to add a young player. Like they're going to prioritize getting a Lane Johnson replacement. But because the class is so deep and they have 2 second-round picks, do you think that they will be willing to wait until the second round, or do you think that they're going to make sure that they get the thing that they care about the most in the first round?
I would be surprised if the first-round pick is not an offensive lineman or a corner at this point.
Okay.
And I think that you can, unless one of like the top corners slips, I think it'll be offensive lineman. That's the way Howie thinks. I think there's a good opportunity for value to meet organizational priority there. Tyler Guyton's the one who you guys all talked about down there, who you said you probably would have had him in if it wasn't based on the game theory part of it, right? If there was like a second round corner that you liked, you probably would have had Tyler Guyton.
Which there wasn't at the Senior Bowl.
Exactly. Yeah. So I looked at it like, I did have a question about that in a second. Tyler Guyton, though, makes so much sense in the first round. I know I had Amarius Mims in the mock draft I did, but Guyton's a similar type of player. Like you look at the upside, and you and I did that story for The Athletic back in April leading up to the draft on the 10 years since they took Lane Johnson. And one of the things as was framed in our reporting from the story is they said that Jeff Stoutland, I think Jeffrey even said this, don't tell me who the best tackle is now. Who's going to be the best tackle from this group in 5 years? And it was like, and that's the group that had Luke Jokel. That's the group that had Eric Fisher, number 1. And the answer was like Lane Johnson's going to be if he reaches his potential, he's going to be the best from that group. And I think you can say that about a Tyler Guyton type. That
it's also an advantage that the Eagles have over the rest of the league is that they can do that because they have Jeff Stoutland, right? Like, and I know that we can debate about what is the player versus what is the coach, but if you are a team that like cannot trust your player development on the offensive line, then you have to take the guy with the higher floor. The Eagles can do that because there is this long history of Jeff Stoutland getting the most out of his offensive lineman, right? And so, I mean, you could look at every offensive lineman they've drafted. Like Andre Dillard is probably the only one that comes to mind that didn't hit like what you would have expected his ceiling to be
since the Stoutland era.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Watkins, obviously before that, but
right.
Yeah, since
and so they have that capacity to prioritize the ceiling at that position, where I think that they would say, honestly, that hasn't been the case at every position.
Sure.
They have that at offensive line, and it's why he's the highest paid offensive line coach in the league.